So, yesterday's Mailbag Tuesday was who is the best under-21s player, excluding Lamine Yamal. It could be male or female.
I tried to pick a 22-year-old. Jelani wouldn't let me do it, so I'm going to go with Gavi instead. I want everybody in the Barcelona midfield right now. I just feel like that's a group of players that could be like the Iniestas of that iconic Barcelona time. Gavi, to me, is one of those players that already at 20 years old, he seems to make every correct decision on the pitch, and I just think it's going to get better and better for him. I wanted to pick somebody that wasn't just scoring goals and coming up, because I think that midfield for Barcelona could have them set for the next great generation, so that's what I went with.
It's all coming out of Barcelona, isn't it? All the other players are.
Well, I struggled with a Barcelona player and a Real Madrid player. I went between Pau Cubarsí, the center back, the 18-year-old at Barcelona. I ended up with Jude Bellingham, because I think Jude Bellingham's got everything. To me, reminds me of Zinedine Zidane in the way that he gets around the field, the level of passes that he's able to play, gets on the end of things, he tackles, he runs, his work rate is incredible. I think he's going to be around world football for a long, long time. He has scored in over half the games, the number of goals that compared to games he's played at Real Madrid. And that's incredible. He's walked into that team and is on Carlo Ancelotti's team sheet game in and game out. I
think I would have chosen Jude Bellingham, but would you choose Jude over Lamine Yamal?
That's an interesting one. I like the command. I think I would. I like Jude Bellingham and how he can command a game, right? And the different things that he does. And that doesn't take anything. But you certainly, you asked me to pick one or the other. I'd take them both, by the way, but I would have to go with Jude.
I would totally agree. And for similar reasons, he dominates a midfield. He's everywhere. And I think it's his calmness, his composure, whether he's dropping deep into the midfield and picking up the balls off the back four to take it forward. He's that classic box-to-box player that can score goals at the other end of the field. And, you know, he's done it. For Real Madrid to go see an English player go and do that at one of the best clubs in the world was huge for England. So he's been there, done it, and to go and establish himself at Real Madrid was absolutely massive.
Myles Lewis-Skelly at Arsenal came from Fleur Diaz.
Again, top player, getting opportunity at Arsenal, and he's had a lot of flack for when he's represented England, and I think he doesn't deserve it at all. I think he needs all the confidence behind him and the support. He's come in and proven why at a young age that Arteta trusts, you know, exactly what you were saying at City, Pep not doing that. I love seeing that when managers are trusting, because they've seen it. They see it day in, day out on the training pitch. Go on, trust them, give them an opportunity, and that's what Arteta's done.
I'm wondering why the England fans want to do this to their young players. And maybe is there something to the history of the left-back position and how great the players have been historically in England at that position, but they've been waiting for one here recently? Because that should be his position for the next 10 years or so, shouldn't it?
Honestly, it makes no sense to me. It was a case of, I think he celebrated in a certain way against Haaland, and that's what kind of fans were going against him for. But again, we're talking about a young player showcasing his ability and doing incredibly well and celebrating a really great moment. And I think when people dampen on that, I'm sure Nico would have something to say if he
Why would you have a problem with that celebration? Doesn't to me like, okay, the greatest player theoretically or the biggest personality in the league said, I don't know who you are. So he said, I'm going to go show you.
Yeah.
Like he had planned that celebration out. To me, that fearlessness, you're talking about a young player that said, oh, you don't know who I am? I'm going to make damn sure you know who I am, and I'm going to make sure everybody sees what I did. I want that kind of cockiness and mentality from a winning player. Am I wrong, Tony? Like, why would you have a problem with that celebration?
Young players, like, they wear their emotion on their sleeve, right? Again, when they get a little bit older, you act a little bit differently, but why not show emotion? I mean, you got to play on everything you have, right, when you're a young player.
From Juan Al 20, he said Nico Paz, no doubt, from Como.
Yeah, came from Real Madrid to Como. They have a buyback clause. I think that's activated at the end of this season, right? So Cesc Fabregas is going to have some things to talk about. Unfortunately, as a Milan fan, he's rumored to be going to Inter at the end of the year, which doesn't please me. Como is one of the best, from a viewing standpoint, one of the best teams. I've been saying this for 6 months. You've heard me say it. If you don't have a Serie A team, you go watch Como, because they are a nice team to watch. And Nico Paz, he's the guy right in the center of things, game in and game out. And now he's starting to score a couple goals. He's finding his way. But yeah, that's a really good shout.
We didn't just get answers from everyone else, we also thought of our own answers. So Jen, tell us who you think is the most underrated under 21-year-old.
Vicky López for me. I mean, she's establishing herself from quite a young age. She was picked up age 15 from Barcelona, came from Madrid. Actually got spotted on the beach playing soccer, but I think from very youth ages, under 12s, under 15s, just performed in all capacities and both footed. Just does unbelievably a one-on-one, great quality and top players. So much expectation on this one.
At Only One Beloved, she said Désiré Doué from PSG.
Look, PSG, it could be the best team in the world right now. Is that possible, Tony? I mean, like, and with young players like this contributing right now, I guess we're going to find out in Champions League. That could be a conversation to be had.
Yeah, fun player. We've seen some young players come through PSG over the last couple of years. It's been incredible. And Doué is about as good as anyone. Listening to Thierry Henry and Champions League coverage talk about him as well, just glowing reviews about the skill of this player. It's always interesting with young players because they always seem so fearless all the time, and he's got that sort of
rawness. I think it's raw talent, that fear that kind of they play with so much freedom at such a young age. So to go get minutes for a top club like that at 18 is unbelievable.
I love that you guys said that. Pep Guardiola just said that the other day. He admitted that he's made a mistake at Manchester City this year by not trusting some of his young players sooner. And he said the one thing I love about the young players, they're not scared.
Our next one, we have a female player written in by Sarah Lou Woods. She said Sydney Schertenleib for sure from Barcelona. Jen?
Yeah, young Swiss forward, 18. I think, again, shows flair forward, playing with freedom, taking players on. And again, to shine in a Barcelona team with so many other top professionals that have kind of been there, done it at the top level, coming through the ranks. And for her to be picked up early on, recruitment-wise, just shows the strategy that Barca are doing. Top player.
I think I've really heard the word freedom 3 or 4 times. That's something that's very common, I guess, in young players because they really have nothing to lose.
Yeah, you're young in your career. You just think you're still playing at the youth level, just with older players, right? And you're brought there for a reason, clearly because you do something special, right? And no time to change when you get to the first team or get to first team football. They'll make a couple of mistakes along the way, and they'll temper it a little bit, right? They'll understand what they can do and what they can't do, and how much they can push the envelope. But it's so much fun watching young players. I love this question because watching young players, this is what our game's about, right? We always think we've seen the best player until the next young player comes in, right?
I think that's why we excluded Lamine Yamal, because everyone would have put him.
So unfair to him.